Hi there, it's Jasmine Bethay here, and I am going to give you a quick guide with how to use Schoolnet for formative classroom assessments. As we all know, Schoolnet can be used in so many ways, and our district uses them for unit assessments and formative assessments, but it's not limited to that. You can use it instructionally throughout your lesson whenever you can. I recommend using it for openers or throughout your lesson or as a closer. Hi, so let's create a classroom formative assessment using Schoolnet. Just a quick tip, this assessment is great to get your students into the habit of testing and so that you are able to collect that valuable data to drive your instruction. This helps to practice test taking strategies and skills with your students and to help reduce test anxiety. So, to create your Schoolnet formative class assessment, you can create this for any time, any portion of your instructional time. So, your openers could be a Schoolnet formative assessment. It could be during your work period or your closer. It is up to you, but it is still valuable information that will help drive your instruction. So let's get started. Once you are on Schoolnet, on the right, as you can see with my mouse, you are going to click Assessments. I'm going to click this down arrow, and now you have options. We are under the Test section, and you're going to click Create. And for this purpose of this video, we're going to click Manual. You can do Express, but Manual gives you more options for your assessments. Next, you are going to complete all of the open fields of the manual test. So we're going to start by giving it a test name. So I'm going to give this a test name of ELA Opener, and I'll just plug in a standard. Next, you will complete the next required field. We are going to select the subject, which is English Language Arts. If you notice on this drop-down, you have options. They are all content, and there are a lot of CTAE content. So it is not just isolated, it is very universal. Then you will select the appropriate grade level, however many items you would like to be your assessment. Since this is during the class period for this video purpose, I'm choosing 5. And then you would select your preferred standard document. We're going to select the Georgia Standards of Excellence for ELA. Then next is the standard template. You are going to select the exact standard that you would like to have the test items. So just give it a second to load. And once you see the Standards of Excellence, you are going to go to the area that you would like. Notice if you click the plus, it's actually going to add all of the standards. I don't recommend that. I recommend that you expand. So this arrow, once you click it, it doesn't select everything. Then you're able to go to the standard of your interest for your students. So I'm going to go to the standard, and as you can see, it is highlighted in green. I have the option to remove it if I do not want this one, and I can add multiple. Then I'm going to click Save and Close. The next is very important, the test category. For this purpose, I would select Classroom Formative Assessment because we are not doing a pre-assessment or a summative assessment or a PLC designed assessment. This is for your class. So I'm going to choose Classroom Formative Assessment. I recommend keeping many of, if not most, of the defaults on here. You do have the option though for the test focus. If you would like to make any adjustments, you can, but I'm going to keep it with the default. I recommend keeping the test item defaults, but you are welcome to expand and view. I am going to show you the test settings. So the test settings has the accommodations. So if you have any students with accommodations, and you're able to select your options here. The default is text to speech for English. So you have the option to make any adjustments. Once you are ready, you're going to click Generate Test, and we are going to choose Use Items from Item Bank. Then a window will appear, and it will just take a moment to load, and you will have your preloaded standard that we just put in. If I don't want to keep the standard, I can exit it out and I can reselect. I can change the subject, I can change the grade level, all of those things I have the ability to do. Now on the right side, as you can see, I scroll down and I'm on the Web's DOK. This is very important so that you are selecting rigorous questions, and I like to start with at least a level 2 or higher. And this is going to adjust the items that are available. So now in the center and at the top, I have 103 items showing. I can clear my filters, and I like to click this box. This is very important. Find and group items by passage. For classroom formative assessment, you usually don't have a ton of time, so this allows you to assess your students using one assessment with multiple questions. So they're using one passage and they are answering questions from that one passage. Now you will just simply scroll through to find a passage that is appealing to you and for your students, and you will of course read the multiple choice and make sure that it is on target. So if you do not like a passage, you can minimize. So as you can see, this first one, Ben Franklin, underneath it has 5 matching items linked to this passage. If I don't want it, I can minimize it by clicking this little arrow, and it will minimize, so it can make my scrolling a lot easier. So I'm going to scroll through and find a passage that is appealing to me. And of course, you would take a little bit more of your own time, but for this video, I am just going to scroll down to a passage that I am interested in. Right? I really like the downside of CGI, and this has 3 questions. I could choose all 3 or just 1 or 2. I'm going to choose all 3. And again, you would be reviewing this. And I'm going to choose 2 more questions, but I would like to find something similar. So I'm scrolling through, and at the top, I'm reading the headline of the passage, but I'm scrolling through to find one that I think is comparable. All right, CGI's is the future of movies. This one is on the same topic. So I'm going to select 2 so that I can have my 5 questions and click Add to Test. Again, I have the options to replace, duplicate, or delete. I can click through each question. In the center, you can see it explains that it's a multiple choice question, and if I expand the passage, I can see the entire passage. I can even edit or delete the passage. And the same thing, you can edit or delete the questions and the answer choices. Once I am ready, I am going to click Save. And now I am going to click up top here, Return to Test Details. Now we are almost at the finish line. So as you can see, I have my title and I am going to make this public. I can scroll through and see the questions again. I can customize, I can make adjustments, delete, change standards, but I'm going to finalize tests now that I am ready. Okay, now that the test has been finalized, As you can see, my 3 steps I have finalized. Now I'm ready to schedule step 3. So I'm going to click this blue button to schedule test. Now you're going to complete the required steps. So there are 3 steps. So step 1, administration. You're going to select your start date, and this is your discretion for your class. You have options if you so choose to check. I'm going to go down to step 2. You're going to create the assignment. I'm going to apply default assignments, but you can also select assignments. Now, step 3 are online delivery options. The online test passcode is editable. You can change the code that the students will enter so that they can take the assessment. Since today is Friday, I'm going to make this Friday as my passcode. And you have options as well, but there are defaults that you can keep. However, if you would like to scramble test questions, you are able to select that if you would like to do that. And once you are ready, you're going to click Save and Publish. As you can see, my test is being published, and I will be notified here when it is finished. This won't take very long, but once it is finished, you would provide the students with the online passcode. The students will go on Schoolnet, and they would be able to take your classroom formative assessment. I hope you found this video helpful. Please continue to reach out to your PLCs, your DLSs, and your coaches for any additional support needed.